Everyone, welcome back to Top Talk TV, where everything comes off the top. In today's review, we're going to be watching George Carlin's Child Worship.
Yeah, we do a lot of that in this country. You ready?
Yes.
Yeah, it's all bullshit, folks. It's bad for you. It's all bullshit. That's what you have to remember as you go through life in this country. It's all bullshit, and it's bad for you. Now, speaking of parents and speaking of bullshit, two ideas which aren't always mutually exclusive, by the way, I'd like to mention a special kind of bullshit that has taken hold in this country in the last 30 to 40 years. It's a form of bullshit that really only can be called child worship. It's child worship. It's this excessive devotion to children. I'm talking about today's professional parents, these obsessive diaper sniffers who are overscheduling and overmanaging their children and robbing them of their childhoods. Even the simple act of playing. Even the simple act of playing has been taken away from children and put on mommy's schedule in the form of play dates. Something that should be spontaneous and free is now being rigidly planned. When does a kid ever get to sit in the yard with a stick anymore? You know, just sit there with a fucking stick. Do today's kids even know what a stick is? You know? But you know something, a kid shouldn't be wasting his time with a stick anyway. If he's 4 years old, he should be home studying for his kindergarten entrance exams. Do you know about that shit? Oh, they have them now, yeah. There are places that have kindergarten entrance exams. The poor little fuck. The poor little fuck, he can barely locate his dick. You know, and already he's being pressured to succeed. Pressured to succeed for the sake of the parents. Isn't this really just a sophisticated form of child abuse? And speaking of that, speaking of child abuse, next up, grade school. Grade school, where he won't be allowed to play tag because it encourages victimization. And he won't be allowed to play dodgeball because it's exclusionary. And it promotes aggression. Standing around is still okay. Standing around is still permitted, but it won't be for long because sooner or later some kid is going to be standing around and his foot will fall asleep and his parents will sue the school and it'll be goodbye fucking standing around. Yeah. Now, fortunately, all is not lost. All is not lost because at least we know that when he does get to play, whatever games he is allowed to play, the child will never lose. We know he'll never lose because in today's America, no child ever loses. There are no losers anymore. Everyone's a winner. No matter what the game or sport or competition, everybody wins. Everybody wins, everybody gets a trophy. No one is a loser. No child these days ever gets to hear those all-important character-building words, "You lost, Bobby. You lost, you're a loser, Bobby." They miss out on that. You know what they tell a kid who lost these days? You were the last winner. A lot of these kids never get to hear the truth about themselves until they're in their 20s. When their boss calls them in and says, "Bobby, clean the shit out of your desk and get the fuck out of here, you're a loser. Get the fuck out of here." Of course, Bobby's parents can't understand why he can't hold a job. In school, he was always on the honor roll. Well, what they don't understand, of course, is that in today's schools, everyone is on the honor roll. Everyone is on the honor roll because in order to be on the honor roll, all you really need to do is to maintain a body temperature somewhere roughly in the 90s. But we shouldn't be worrying about how he's doing at school because, you know, come summertime, he'll be off to camp. Yes, he'll be off to camp, but not to swim and hike and play softball. No. Today's child will be sent away to lose weight. He'll be sent to fat camp, or violin camp, or ceramics camp, or computer camp, or leadership camp, whatever the fuck that is. Leadership camp. Isn't that where Hitler went? Specialized, structured summer camps. Gotta keep the little fucker busy, don't they? Gotta keep the little fucker busy. Wouldn't want him to sneak in a little unstructured time in the woods. That wouldn't be any good. God knows he might start jacking off. Now, all of this stupid bullshit that children have been so crippled by has grown out of something called the self-esteem movement. The self-esteem movement began in 1970, and I'm happy to say it has been a complete failure. Because studies have repeatedly shown that having high self-esteem does not improve grades, does not improve career achievement, it does not even lower the use of alcohol, and most certainly does not reduce the incidence of violence of any sort. Because as it turns out, extremely aggressive, violent people think very highly of themselves. Imagine that. Sociopaths have high self-esteem. Who would have thunk, huh? I love when this kind of thing happens. I love when these politically correct ideas crash and burn and wind up in the shithouse. The self-esteem movement revolved around a single notion. The single idea that every child is special. Boy, they said it over and over and over, as if to convince themselves. Every child is special. And I kept saying, fuck you. Every child is clearly not special. Did you ever look at one of them? Did you ever take a good close look at one of these fucking kids? They're goofy. They're fucking goofy looking. They're too small. They're way too fucking small. They're malapportioned. Their heads don't fit their bodies. Their arms are too weird and everything. They can't walk across the room in a straight line. And when they talk like I got a mouthful of shit. They're incomplete. Incomplete. Unfinished work. I never give credit for incomplete work. Now, P.T. Barnum might think they're special, but not me. I have standards. But let's say it's true. Let's grant this. I'm in a generous mood. Let's grant this proposition. Let's say it's true as somehow every child is special. What about every adult? Isn't every adult special too? And if not, then at what age do you go from being special to being not so special? And if every adult is special, then that means we're all special, and the whole idea loses all its fucking meaning.
So true.
What do you mean 5? At age
To
5
me-
is when you lose?
No. I don't mean it like you lose your specialness at the age of 5, but me, after 5, the super fun stuff that you can do with kids from the time they're like 10 months to 5 is so much fun. Learning, watching them make their first walk, the first words that come out their mouths, the first curse words that come out their mouth. All this stuff is like fun to watch between 10 months and 5. Once they get about 5 to me, they get a little opinionated, start developing into themselves a little bit more, you know what I mean? After 5. But between that age, 5 I give the cutoff, maybe 6, because they are super fun between those ages. The simplest stuff you can do, they'll laugh. I think.
Okay. Yeah, I like them after 5.
You like them after
0 to
5?
5 was just ridiculous to me. It was
These are terrible twos.
Yes,
I
and
hate
you know
all
what?
of
You
that.
always
I
had
hate
that personality. I just, yes,
I like
yeah.
older. I like teenagers, and I prefer teenagers. Teenagers, that age is my favorite to me. But then 5 and up is easier for me. It was easier for me because it was like better communication, easier to say what I needed my kid to do, easier for him to talk to me about what he needed, and we just flow together. And then, you know, he's able to do more things. So everything, like I said before, was I do it. He wanted to like do it with me. And then the comprehension is better. The way he spoke is better, is clearer. You know, he starts to remember things better, focus better, and I like that. That works better for me. The younger age was just like, like when he was crying, I'd be like, can you just tell me what you need? Like, I can't guess this. You know,
I'm not there yet, Mom.
or like, yeah, they're walking, but now since he's walking, he wants to touch and get into everything.
Yeah,
or
that.
like when he started biting me, I was like, what the heck is this?
It's a biter.
I remember that, sis.
Right. And then like he didn't have terrible twos, but he had troublesome threes.
Okay.
And it was just like everything was like, oh, I don't put it down, I throw it. Or, you know, I don't drink my juice or my milk, I splash it everywhere.
Yeah,
you know, I was like, no, I can't.
But you know what, though, sis, remember, because he did kind of, it wasn't terrible twos, but his thing when he was 2 was no.
Yeah,
that's the word he hears the most.
No. So it was like, with him, it was like troublesome threes, but no some twos. He'd be like, yeah.
That's the word all kids hear more than any other word.
Right, because they get told that all the time. Yeah. And
so
then it was just like, always wanting to be picked up. But then when he got 5, turned 5, it was just like he wanted like to have it. Yeah, and I loved it.
That's why I say 5's the cutoff.
Hand in hand doing our thing, you know. Yeah. What do you think about the whole, you know, kids aren't special and
they aren't. They're just gonna grow up to be the asshole adults that all of us did.
See, and I kind of feel like with that.
Sorry.
No, you go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think I became kind of an asshole adult when I was an adult. Not so much when I was a kid, very innocent, naive. It's just going through things as an adult kind of brought the asshole out in me. You know, interacting with other adults.
Big kids.
Yeah.
Big kids.
And see, I feel like, because that, George Carlin's statement reminded me of Chris Rock's statement when he was saying, you ought to stop telling your kids that they're special. Well, you ought to stop telling your kids that they're special, because that's what you're saying. And I kind of feel like it's the opposite. I don't think George Carlin and Chris Rock went into the depths of it. Like, your kids are special.
To you.
They're special, period. And they're unique. They're not better than anyone else in this world. True. They do offer, and I think we need to focus on the word unique more than special. Because I think that's better than special. Because special can go towards special ed, special needs, special dilemmas, special enhancements, this and this and that. Yes, so that's why I say instead of using the word special, we should use the word unique, because once we figure out our individual talents, we can be apart and together, and that in turn is what makes us special. But we want to use the term special as a magical word.
Well said.
When it's not something magical, it's just supposed to be used as a tool to teach your kids to figure out who they are. So I think the more appropriate word is your uniqueness, and your craft within your uniqueness to add to the whole as an individual, so we can stand together. We can be together while standing apart, and be apart while we're standing together. And I think that's how we should totally use that. And once we, in my opinion, I don't have kids. Y'all have a dog. That's my kid. So I'm, of course, I don't claim to be an expert in any of this.
And your dog is special, unique.
My baby girl is beautiful. She's unique.
Yeah, she is.
She shines when she gets to come on now. Y'all tell me. People, audience, people tell me about my dog. More than I even acknowledge my dog. Like, I get on ISIS like she's a little person. I'll be like, little girl, sit down. You don't get any privilege because you want to go to the left and I'm trying to go to the right. I run this. But then the world sees her. She is. She's good dog people, right? And in her own way, she's unique.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have a blue nose, terrier pit. You don't have an ISIS. You don't have a sparkle you don't have ISIS sparkle in your dog's eye. I'm sorry. You don't have that glow and glitter on her gray skin when the sun hits it. You don't.
You have to put a picture up of ISIS.
Yeah. And you know one thing so good about that I love, just a side note, with ISIS, she's always she's a dog that's always smiling. And it's not the whole, no, you could tell when she's smiling.
She's happy.
She's always smiling,
Yeah, you do good by her. You do good by her.
You do. Just wait till I get my family.
Oh, does take good care of her.
Just wait till I get my family.
You do take good care of her.
But getting back to Child
Let's keep us
worship.
focused.
Getting back to child worship, I think all people think that their children are special, but like I was saying, as they grow up, they grow into the person that they're going to be. And I think as an adults, I don't think we're all that special. I'll go with your word, unique. Everybody have their uniqueness about them, but special, and worshiping children, I'm not into that either.
And you know what? I disagree, Troy, because, maybe it's just I'm misinterpreting this, but through hearing conversations or like when I've said certain things to parents about their kids, I hear, they bad as hell, or I've literally heard parents say like, my kid ain't shit. Excuse my language.
They know.
So not all parents think their kids are special.
Yeah, that's true.
Or like, my kid's such a badass, or he or she don't listen, or I can't stand him or her. Like things like that. Like it's rare when I actually hear. It's rare when I hear parents go, "Oh, my kid is so special. He's so unique, or she's so unique because of this and that." It's rare when I hear that actually. So.
And you know what? I would like to pose a question to that, sis. I'm into the audience as well. Please leave your comments below, because what Carlin did say was that parents put the kids on this pedestal based on their expectations for their kids, not getting to know their kids as they are. Mm-hmm. And so while, sis, you speak on what your friends have said, you don't do that. I've noticed that with you as a mom, you have gotten to know your child as his character. You're not living your dreams through him. You're encouraging his own uniqueness
to experience,
through experience, and then you lace him with like the actions. I have to give you props for that one. Sometimes I think you're a little too laid back with that, but that's just my perception and opinion.
Right.
You are with your son 24/7, so you know what he needs and how to
get things done.
But not even that though, brother. How to teach her son to be his best self for his journey in his life, not your journey and expectations through his life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
well, I did actually want to ask you guys about that too, because he starts in the beginning talking about play dates and like setting up all these things for your kids and having all these activities, and that's something I actually struggle with because on one hand, right, you want to introduce your kids to different activities and things, maybe one, starting out, you may think they'd be interested in based on their actions, hopefully, and or two, interests that they share with you, right? But then taking them to these activities, having them be a part of these activities, and they say, oh, I don't like it, do you just let them give up? And audience, please comment below. Do you just let them give up on that activity? Do you encourage them to stay in it a little bit longer? But if you kind of think, maybe sort of feel, but not sure if they're into it or not, because it's like because I feel like one, yes, if someone's not into something, don't force them. Yeah. At the same time, I don't want to be teaching, or parents shouldn't be teaching, or there's another way to teach or show your child. Don't just give up on everything that you try, because then maybe they'll just all of a sudden start giving up on everything, right?
But I think they should at least try stuff. At least try it. If you don't like it, I can say you don't like it. I can see that you don't like it. But then there are things that the kid may do, and I'm like, they really are into this. They're not coming to me saying, hey, I'm going to try this. They just do it, and they're into it, like drawing or whatever. They're just into that stuff. And you just sit back and notice it. I'm not big on forcing a kid to stick with something that they're not interested in, like playing the recorder or the saxophone or something. You tried to get them, they wanted to try the drums, they don't have the discipline for the drums, now they're interested in something else. So give them a chance to get into something, find out if they like it or not, and if there's something that they like, you'll actually see them doing it around the house or whatever, or trying to emulate something like that. But just guide them. But once you see that they're into something and focused on something, slowly encourage it. Now, don't be overbearing, but slowly encourage it.
And what's the length of time that you would suggest? Like, let's say someone, your kid's taking a karate class. After one class, they're like, Do you go, okay? Or do you go, well, maybe try it like 5 or 6 more times?
Yeah, I say try for a week or two. And let's make it, I'll tell the kid, let's make an evaluation on how this is working for you for the week or two. You just went a couple of times. It's not for you. It may grow on you. Now, after we do this like 2 or 3 weeks, if you come back and say, I still don't like it, I'll be like, okay, it's not for you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, but encourage them to at least try, because you don't want them to start something and not finish. And there'll be times they're going to start many things in their life and not finish, but the things that they like, they'll keep doing.
Yeah.
They'll keep doing. So.
Okay.
'Cause I got like little grandnephews who are into like music stuff, how to make beats, how to do this, and like you're like 12 and 14 years old now, and you're trying to learn music production. I can show you what I know about it and introduce you to people that could probably show you more other relatives that know stuff like that. And I would encourage them to learn an instrument. If you want to get into this music thing, you need to learn this stuff here. You need to learn that stuff there. And I'll point you in the right direction. And a couple of weeks later, I'll ask you, what's going on with that? Are you still interested in that? They'll either say yes or no.
Okay.
I won't force them.
Okay.
I won't.
But, okay, and then, so one thing I do disagree with George Carlin on it is playdates. I actually like playdates. I believe in playdates. And I think it does depend on every family's situation and environment. Like, if you're in an environment where you live, like, let's be real, you have children outside that are just maybe not the best to play with.
Starting fires and
Fights and, like, you know, are a little bit mischievous. You know, it's better to have a playdate with a school friend if the parent agrees with that friend's behavior or your child's friend's behavior. You know, like, I don't believe in, like, oh, just let your child go and play outside. But, like I said, it does depend on the environment. It depends on where you're from. It depends on, like, you know, your neighborhood, your surroundings. Like, if you can trust the kids, you know, that are around your kid. If you have a male child. And vice versa. If you have, like, a child that's a bully, you got to be real with yourself about your kid. No, you don't want your kid playing with other kids and, like, randomly causing havoc.
Most
I
parents
hope that's not
don't
too
know.
narrow-minded, but,
Yeah.
you know.
Most parents don't know all the stuff that their kids do when they're out the house. Because there was a lot of times I would do stuff that I wouldn't want to get back to my mom because she didn't like it, but I had to experience some of those things.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
And I think
slingshots, and she wouldn't want me doing that stuff.
Right, but that's a good point too, because you
Yeah.
can monitor your child when you have
Yeah.
play dates, and then also, like, if you're a parent and you have a busy work schedule or busy life, but you still want your kids to have a little life of their own, you know, you kind of have to schedule that sometimes.
Yeah, you need some structure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because all kids are different, so you can't say you have 3 or 4 kids. They're all not going to be the same. One's going to like some things, some going to like other things. So the kid dictates it, and you just got to have understanding that the kid is just being themselves. Try not to push your views on them, but do teach them the tools that they're going to need to learn to navigate in this life.
Right.
You know, you give them those tools, and as long as they're being respectful and staying true to themselves, because there are some a-hole kids out there, and I don't mind there being an a-hole kid if that's who that kid is. Mm-hmm. You know, because as he or she grows up, they'll figure out, I have to adjust the way I do around certain people. You know, because then they'll know if they're around, like, adults that will check them on stuff, they'll know to tone it down around me. I can't say or do X, Y, and Z around these adults, but some of the other adults will probably let me get away with it.
Absolutely.
So that's the key.
That's so sweet, Trey. I don't like a-hole kids.
I like all kids. I like all kids. As long as they're being themselves.
Stay
As long as you're being
there.
yourself.
To teach you something.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you should be learning something every day.
I think the a-hole kids are the ones changing the world. And not necessarily for the bad, but you know what I'm saying? Because they're the ones that's like willing to step outside the box and take the risk and try this and try that and get their hands slapped. And then it teaches parents as well and aunties.
Yeah. Same thing with adventurous kids, are the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that adventurous, but this kid I got here, he sure likes to try to make willies or jump the...
And sometimes the a-hole kids get put in the adventurous kids get put in the category of the a-hole kids.
Yeah.
Because parents have not taken the time to learn their child, but wanted them to adapt to their agenda because because of various circumstances. Job, work, multiple kids. You don't have time to just learn each individual personality because you're just a single parent or whatever the case may be. I totally get it. But those are not changing the world.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So mellow out on your child worship, people.
And watch the George Carlin flicker too.
Thanks again,
Right,
George,
guys.
and thanks you guys for coming out watching Top Talk TV. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and
Follow our social medias.
Hit that notification button.
we will see you next time on Top Talk TV.
Peace.